This is The Heat Source, the podcast where we learn everything we can about hot sauce, one bottle at a time. We are your hosts, Mike and Matt, and today we're trying Sweet Jalapeno Reaper by Stanky Sauce and Trinidad Time Bomb by Black Eyed Susan Spice Co. Let's heat up. Welcome back to The Heat Source, where we learn about new sauces weekly, one bottle at a time. This week, we have a familiar brand and a brand new brand. Brand new brand. That's a tongue twister. We've got the Stanky Sauce's Sweet Jalapeno Reaper, which is their new sauce that they just came out with only a few weeks ago, and the Trinidad Time Bomb Black Eyed Susan Spice Co. So we have not tried the Stanky. I think we tried the Black Eyed Susan one at the Illinois show because I know,
At the show, yeah.
because,
That was a couple years ago. I remember loving it.
yeah,
It was really good. And we've not had stanky sauce in like 2 years.
I mean, you haven't. I've gotten bottles here and there.
I haven't. Yeah.
But as far as new bottles, new flavors, this is not the only new flavor they have that we haven't tried officially on the podcast. They have the Daddle Garlic, which we do have a bottle, which we will do a review of in the future here. Um, but this is their newest one, Sweet Jalapeno Reaper. This is one that they came out with. Their kind of release to this was through Brian Ames and his. He did a review. They did a tasting where everyone in his subscription box did like a live video tasting, which is pretty cool. And I haven't tried this one. I've tried the Daddle Garlic at the Tennessee show, so I know that one's good. But this is going to be foreign to me as well. So two good sauces for us to try. It is a little different because we haven't done a deep dive into Black Eyed Susan, but we can do more of that on a separate episode. But this was actually the Trinidad Time Bomb. Well, we had it in our collection. This was actually voted on the Patreon. I put a handful of sauces, and this one got the vote for fan selection of sauces we should try, which
Nice.
also was the hottest one. So I don't know if that's just like a punishment thing where they're like, take the pain. But
Yeah. I don't remember it being painful.
it was hard to remember. I don't think when you go to a hot sauce show, at least maybe not someone that's like brand new to a hot sauce show, but I have a theory that when you go to a hot sauce show after going to a handful of them, the sauces don't hit as hard because you're eating so much hot sauce that like you're in a
Hmm.
state of constant like sweating and a little bit of like heat, like everything's up to 11. It's kind of like you lift weights and then you go to lift something that's just a little bit lighter and suddenly it's super easy. I think that's what's happening with the hot sauce.
You like overshoot it.
Yeah, because I've had sauces where I'm like, oh yeah, like even like the food challenges I did at the Tennessee show, and I'm like, yeah, those weren't that bad. But then I try something that was similar, and I'm like, why am I
Hmm.
sweating so much? But it's like because I have only eaten bananas and cottage cheese for the last 2 days. That's not really my diet,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking of bland stuff. But
Um, yeah.
yeah,
The opposite of that. Have you seen those videos? I can't remember the guy's name, but he's got that mop. This guy shows up to the gym and he's a world champion power
oh yeah,
lifter,
yeah,
but he's a
yeah.
really
And he
small
was like the
guy.
full jumpsuit. Yeah,
Yeah, he'll wear like the janitor suit and then he'll just show up with that really heavy mop. Dude, I just discovered that guy and I've been watching his videos. I can't get enough of those. I think that is so funny because people are either like, dude, get out of here, you can't lift anything, or they're just like, yeah, go for it, hurt yourself, see what I care.
yeah.
And then he just blows everyone away.
And it is crazy because when you think of like weightlifters are just people that are strong enough to lift stuff like that. You're thinking of like the world's strongest man where they just have like a barrel chest and they just are like the mountain
Yeah.
from Game of Thrones. And this guy is
Hmm.
he looks like a jockey. Like he doesn't look like anything
Oh yeah,
intimidating.
he's a small guy. Like he's very cut, but even
Yeah.
like you see him, without a shirt. And yeah, he's ripped for sure, but he doesn't have the mass of someone who can. He'll take like 400, 500 pounds deadlift and then just sit there and spin and walk around with it in a helicopter and laugh while he does it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just like, what is going on
No,
right now?
those videos are pretty insane. It is funny to see the reactions on that. I uh, I do have to mention because I always forget to mention at the beginning. This episode is sponsored by Scoville.com. They've sponsored the last few episodes, and we'll talk about them in a mid ad read later on in the episode. But I like to mention that on the upfront. I also am wearing hit my mic, the Detroit Pistons, because we are still, as of the recording of this, maybe not of the airing, but as of the recording, we are still alive in the playoffs. So I'm wearing my Pistons
I'm
stuff
happy
as long
for you.
as I can. Yeah.
When prior to this, when was the last Pistons playoff win?
17 years ago.
Was it really?
17 years ago was the last Pistons playoff win.
I saw
I
something. It was like the curse of the Pope. Like the current Pope has never seen a playoff win, and then he passes away, and then all of a sudden we get a playoff win.
Yeah, the curse has been lifted. You didn't know that the Pistons were anti-Catholic.
That's awful.
It's the bad boys. The bad boys. Just wrong side of the shoulder when you have the devil and the angel on each shoulder.
Oh god.
But no, the last Pistons win was, yeah, it was 17 years ago, so it was like 2008, and I don't know if I was at the last win, but I was at one of the games of the last series that they won a game, because I was at the Boston Celtics '08 Eastern Conference Finals series. So
Have they been bad since then, or have they just been kind of marginal?
mostly bad, a few marginal seasons. They did get to the playoffs a couple times, but they got swept. So that was the big thing, is they had the longest losing streak because they got to the playoffs 3 times, swept 3 times. Plus they lost the last 2 games of that last series. So they were on a pretty decent rough stretch.
Hmm.
But no longer. We've won 2 games. They still bring up that we haven't won at home, but that could change tomorrow. So it is, other than, so hot sauce I'm very passionate about, but I get more animated with Pistons games, and I've started to like just go down to the basement for most of them. But my
Hmm.
kids are like, "Hey, we want you to be like around us," and then I'm watching it, and they're unsure what's happening because I'm like,
You're just like air punching.
I'm air punching. I'm on my feet for most of the game. I'm I'm editing myself on what I'm saying, but I'm very upset with the bogus calls, as I will have to say, instead of other things. But the and it's also tough because I have told my son, it's like, hey, when you're upset, like, you can work through that. You can, be upset, but like, don't kick, don't hit stuff, don't like throw stuff. Like, it's ridiculous. And then I like kicked a pillow when there was a bad call, and I'm like, he can't watch this. He can't see me do this.
You're like, Mason, go to bed.
But my daughter, my youngest, she just tonight, she was like, Dad, can you put on the piston, or can you put on basketball? And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I want to go to bed. And so it puts her to
I
sleep.
wanted to put me to
It
sleep.
is not entertaining for her. So,
That's
but
funny.
she wants it on. So at least like if she falls asleep with it, maybe subliminally she'll absorb some of it. Um, Probably not. But it's the only person that's actively
That's
asked for a
funny.
little bit of basketball. Mason likes to play it though. So yeah, Pistons are alive. Cade Cunningham is great. The team is on the upswing. Next year's bigger and brighter things, even if they lose this playoff series. Um, Next year, when they enter the playoffs, we'll have done our Heat Source Pistons collaboration that we've been working on in secret, that no one knows about. Just going to talk that into
Not
fruition.
even the Pistons.
I know they're going to be so excited when they realize what's going on. But Also, belated happy birthday to Lauren Graham. I saw that his birthday was this week, and so I wanted to give a quick shout out, happy birthday to him. Uh, Also, I didn't even realize last weekend was the Boston Hot Sauce Festival, so completely missed that as well. Well, I didn't miss it. Like, I knew I wasn't going to be able to attend it, but uh, usually I see some updates, and I wasn't really online as much last weekend, so it kind of flew under the radar for me. But looks like some good awards went out. I saw Red's Hot Sauce won an award for one of their newer ones that we haven't tried. Um, there was another brand that won an award. I can't think of it on the top of my head, but um, they had some interesting trophies. If you go to some of the sauce pages, one was just a golden middle finger, so that's always interesting.
That'd probably be the hottest one.
Probably
It's like FU hot.
something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It was. I was looking at the trophy. I'm just like, oh, that's the whole thing. Okay, cool. Um, but yeah, so the Boston Hot Sauce show was last weekend. I know the next big one that I'm aware of is the Illinois one in July, but I know there's more coming up between then and now. Just locally, I don't know what else. potentially a Canadian one, but I haven't heard anything on that one. So
Hmm.
if anyone knows of any other hot sauce shows coming up in May or June, let us know because um, I always like to go to those shows. I know there's a lot in the fall. Like the Goat Fest is usually in the fall. The Illinois show, Cincinnati's in the fall. The Jungle Gyms one. But also one more tangent, and then we'll get into the sauces here. Did you see there was a guy that I don't know if this has ever happened before, but within 4 days he had to be rescued twice from Mount Fuji.
I did not see that, and I did not think you were going to go that direction.
I
Within
saw this
4 days,
headline
he
and
had to
I'm
get
like,
rescued twice. You get one freebie, then you have to pay for a rescue after that.
this student he tried to go up the mountain. He tried to go up Mount Fuji. Could not make it. Had issues. Had to be airlifted or rescued off of the mountain. He went then to go back to get his belongings. Particularly, he wanted to get his phone, and got stuck again and had to be lifted out. So the headline is he went up twice, had to be rescued twice in 4 days. The second time to get his phone, even though it was more like his personal effects in general.
Yeah, man, that
So,
I hope he recorded that.
well, he didn't have his phone.
I
So,
just had to go. Did it say like why he needed to be rescued?
the second time, from what I read, he was like somebody just said like they found him on the mountain and he was like pretty much like incapacitated, and just like someone called in like he was literally gonna die. Like it wasn't like, oh,
Wow.
he's on this like with a bunch of people and they're like, oh, his condition's getting worse, we should come out of here. Somebody was just like, who's this guy? Like, what's he doing?
That body over there is still kind of moving a little bit.
Yeah. Um,
Huh? Did it say what elevation he was at?
no, I didn't.
Like, I'm wondering if it was like altitude sickness. Probably owes a fair amount of money to whoever rescued him.
Probably. I I always just like to think about there was posts I've seen before where it's like, hey, all those bodies up on like Mount Everest were once highly motivated people. Just think about that. And so I'm content. I'm
Um,
content with where I'm at.
I heard of a um, one of my buddies. He's got a place on Lake Michigan, and he was telling me that the neighbor kids went out. They took a sailboat on an east wind on the eastern shore of Lake Michigan, which is a terrible idea because it will blow you over to Wisconsin,
Hmm.
and that's when like the coldest water comes up. So it was like 50-degree water, something like that, on an east wind. They took a sailboat out when they were kids, and then it blew them into Lake Michigan. So they called the Coast Guard. They had to get airlifted out of there.
Yeah.
Very next day, they do the exact same thing. Have to get rescued by the Coast Guard. The very next day, the Coast Guard send them a $10,000 rescue fee for doing the exact same thing. Where they're like, "All right, don't do this." Very next day, same thing. Can you imagine getting airlifted twice? I would just feel so guilty.
I mean, if you get airlifted once, in most situations, if I'm getting airlifted from a situation, I'm probably just not going to go back. It's like I don't want to be the person that's like, hey, weren't you the guy that was just airlifted? Like, yes. Even if like you're confident, like, hey, I'm going to go back, I'm going to do it right,
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to get this done. I'd still be like, I don't want to risk being asked that question. I
Mm-hmm.
I when I was younger, I would have issues with like low blood sugar, and if I low blood sugar gets bad enough, you would pass out. I one time passed out in the food court of my college that I was going to, and like
Mm-hmm.
medical came and they had to like take me away because I was like I passed out like and hit my face. That's why my face looks like this. Um, and
Knocked your hair right off.
and after that, I just never went to the food court. I'm like, nah, just not going there. So it helped me with my.
Just traumatized by
It's
it.
like, no, I'm not gonna go there. Be like, were you the guy that was like rushing to Subway to get a loaf of bread? Be like, no, that wasn't me. That wasn't me at
Nope,
all.
never been here.
Um, but let's get into our sauces. Before we get into our sauces, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsor. In a world where flavor knows no limits, one website dares to unite the boldest, the hottest, the most mouth-watering sauces from over 70 small batch makers across the country. Welcome to Scoville.com, the ultimate destination for hot sauce lovers. Ready to take your taste buds on an adventure? Try Scoville's hot sauce subscription box. Choose your heat level, flavor profiles, even food pairings. And let Scoville craft the perfect box just for you. One bottle or 3, Delivered, fresh, every month. Go to Scoville.com today and use code The Heat Source for 50% off your first month. Don't just taste the heat, live it. All right, welcome back. That was a great sponsor that Mike heard. Mike definitely knows what sponsor read that was. I will say, so the last one I did was like a 30 for 30 ESPN style. This one was another one, and I'll just show you these so you know what the sponsorships are or how they're being delivered. But
Yeah.
this first one, this is the sweet jalapeno Reaper hot sauce. So, variation off of they have their agave jalapeno, which is a sweet jalapeno sauce. Um, Stanky Sauce also, just want to mention their website, stankysauce.com. All their social medias are the Stanky Sauce, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. But they're known as Florida's most adventurous hot sauce is the title they have in here. And when you try to tag them in something on Facebook, like in the For the Love of Hot Sauce group, they'll be like, "Hey, what's a good recommendation of like a sweet jalapeno sauce?" And I'll be like, "Agave jalapeno buy," and I'll try to at Stanky Sauce. The whole thing is at Stanky Sauce, the most adventurous hot sauce, like this long thing, and I'm like, seems like I'm going a
They
little
have the full
overboard,
thing there.
but
That's funny.
definitely grabs your attention. Um, but yeah, so this one, ingredients on this: agave nectar, green jalapeno pepper mash, and onion, green bell pepper, apple cider vinegar, Reaper pepper mash, lime juice from concentrate, poblano peppers, Himalayan pink sea salt, cilantro, garlic, black pepper, Carolina Reaper powder, and ginger. So a few different peppers in there. It does have that Carolina Reaper powder in there.
So I got to be honest. My bottle is opened,
Okay.
and I did take a whiff of it, and it smells really good. I caught my dad. He came over the other day for dinner, and he just totally raided the fridge. He came over for dinner, but he brought a brand new bag of tortilla chips just because he knows how many hot sauces I have in the fridge,
Yeah. He
and he
doesn't know
just raided
why.
it and
He doesn't know
popped
why,
it open.
but he knows you
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Well, that so even if I didn't do this podcast, I'd probably still have that much hot sauce in my fridge, where it's not. That's why my family's not like, wait, why do you have all this hot sauce? They're just like, oh yeah, you just you keep them in ball jars now, which is a little bit weird. But
That's
other than that, that's a normal volume.
that's the only
That's the
caveat.
weird part to them.
Yeah.
That's the weird part is that I have them all. Half of them now are in ball
Then now
jars.
you have bootleg CD versions of your hot sauces.
Yeah, I popped one open for my brother. He's like, "Hey, why is it not in a bottle? Is that safe? Like, did someone send that to you?" I'm like, "No, it's good. It came from a bottle." He's like, "Oh, okay." He didn't ask like why.
But like the ball jar ones were made in my bathtub.
Yeah,
the the ball jars were made in some type of water holding vessel in my house, but it's not what you think. It's like
yeah.
I don't know about that game. Yeah, I like the smell
Oh,
of
it
this.
smells
It
good.
smells. I mean, there is some heat that you can
I get a
smell in
little bit
there.
of that sticky heat smell.
But I do like it. It does have. It's reminiscent of the agave jalapeno smell that you get. Um, but yeah, so
I like the label on this one. That like
that
matte
sheen,
metallic.
yeah, the metallic
Yeah,
sheen.
that's a cool one.
Yeah, their labels. I think they've done that with. I know the Daddle Garlic had the same kind of vibe to it, so they've been doing it with more of them. So this was so your dad opened this one. Did he try this one or
He did. Yep.
did he like it?
His so nothing against stanky sauce at all, but he doesn't like sweet. Like if
Oh,
he doesn't
okay.
like sweet hot sauces. Um, he took one bite and he goes, "Oh man, it's sweet." And then the Reaper kicked in and he goes, "Man, that's really good."
Yeah.
So it was just like immediately this. So I'm guessing this is going to come off as sweet at first
Okay.
and then probably kick in with some savory heat. But just it was within 4 seconds. He's like, "Oh, it's sweet. Oh, it's hot. It's really good."
Well, yeah. Well, let's see how your dad's assessment
So
is as we
yeah,
try this one. It is very sweet up front. I'm trying to see how the build is because with the Reaper powder, I know with regular Reaper pepper, you get that
man,
build,
that's very good.
but I know powder is usually more of a punch. Um,
I do. I get it. It's like a very sweet peak right at the beginning,
mhm,
and then it tails off, and it's just a savory heat.
yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Hmm.
That is a tortilla chip sauce.
It's funny that your dad just brought over tortilla chips because he's also just like, yeah, tortilla chips and hot sauce. Let's just go.
Yeah. It's like how I was raised. He'd come home every day from work, and then he'd just like break open the tortillas and just hammer whatever hot sauce was in the fridge.
Mm.
Man, I like that. That's really good.
Yeah, the sweetness on the up front, it's kind of the same kind of approach as that Pex pepper sauce we just tried, where you get that
Hmm.
initial, here's some initial nice before it gets into a
Right.
little bit of mean. And it's not a painful sauce. It's hot. It's holding in my mouth uh,
Yeah.
really
I'd,
well.
I'd say this is like a three.
Yeah, it's a good three. It's a nice warm three. Um, this would be an
Oh, they go
upgrade.
good on fish tacos.
Fish tacos would be good. This would be a good upgrade on. I put the agave jalapeno on my nachos before, and that's always fun.
Yeah.
The agave jalapeno, sometimes I'll, if I make like a, almost like a chip dip, but it's like more of like a Mexican chip dip, I'll do like mix in some, some seasonings, and I'll put in like either a taco sauce or a similar hot sauce taco sauce, and
Hmm.
I'll just dip tortilla chips in more of a chip dip. So instead of like going through a whole bottle, I can use a portion of this bottle, but make it stretch a little bit more. This would be a good upgrade because it usually some of those other sauces aren't giving the punch or the heat that you would want. But
Right.
no, I like, yeah, I like the sweetness up front, a little bit of the garlic. The ginger isn't something that I'm getting a whole lot of, but it's a really nice balanced flavor. The but yeah, that heat is just holding. It's like,
Yeah. I do like. They did a good job with that one as far as the you're getting like two flavor profiles out of it. Because right now, like my aftertaste, I'm not getting any. I'm not getting any sweetness. I'm getting like garlic
mhm,
and like black pepper
sure.
in my aftertaste. But the initial hit of it, you definitely get that like that agave jalapeno sweetness. Um, but then it transitions really quickly, so it's cool. It's like a unique. You're getting a 2 for 1 in this one.
No, I really, yeah, I enjoy that kind of ride of like, hey, we're really, it's a nice sweet sauce, and then kind of what your dad went through is like, oh wait, no, that's if you don't like sweet, it still can hook you at the end. We're like, no, no,
Yeah,
it got me. You know,
yeah, and he definitely went back for more after that.
it's
I
like
think once he knew,
once he knew that it was had more of a kick.
yeah, yep, once he knew that that kind of tailed off, it grabbed him for sure. So
It's like if you're watching a movie with your wife and it seems more of like a rom com, and then suddenly you realize, oh, it's an action rom com. Halfway through, there's an explosion and things are happening. You're like, all right, I like this movie. This is a good time.
what rom com is that?
Night and Day with Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise.
Never seen
I
it.
don't know. I think that starts pretty action heavy to start, but it is a rom com action movie.
The biggest the biggest twist on a movie I like as far as not expecting it
Hmm.
that I've ever seen. I went into the Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell
Hmm.
Crowe, thinking it was like an actual '70s spy movie
Okay.
or oh, what are they? Not a spy. What are they called?
Like a buddy cop movie?
They're not cops though. PIs, like private
Okay.
investigators. Um, Thinking it was a serious movie. That is the most unserious movie I've ever seen in my
I haven't
life, and I
seen it.
do think it is one of the most underrated funny movies of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, you've mentioned it
I couldn't
before.
stop laughing that entire movie.
Yeah, you've mentioned it to me before, and it is one I would like to watch. I like both those actors. Um, I think both of them are underrated for how funny they can be because they both usually do more serious roles. But
Yeah, that's. I thought Russell Crowe. I'm thinking like Gladiator,
yeah,
like not expecting him to be funny at all. He's hilarious, and then Ryan Gosling. I don't think he ever intentionally tries to be funny. He just is.
he did that movie with Emily Blunt where he was a stunt guy. I think that was meant to be funny. But like that was a rom com
I
funny.
yeah, I want to watch that one. I've not seen that yet.
I will give at least to come to Russell Crowe's defense a little bit on Gladiator. It's hard to turn that type of movie into a comedy. So
Well, I
I'm
wasn't
sure
expecting
I
him to do that. That part when his wife's dangling there.
and then the snot's coming out of his nose.
Did
Um, it
did you see the clip of him talking about
yeah.
that?
The it would be funny if they're like, here's all the deleted scenes where Russell Crowe tried to like throw a one liner in, you know, right at the end. It's like, hey, he just did this whole speech like, I'll have my vengeance in this life or the next, and then just like rips a fart, and they're like, Russell, we can't do that, man. That's just not how this is gonna go.
Mr. Crow, please pull together.
Um, what for this sauce? What fact did you go with on here?
Should be an easy one. What do you
Monkeys.
think I went with?
You went with monkeys.
What's
I went
that?
with monkeys.
Monkeys. Florida has a monkey problem, and I feel for you guys right now. So as of 2 days ago, I went to get my my annual stanky sauce monkey update here. 2 days ago, there was a wild monkey on the loose in the Mount Dora in a Mount Dora neighborhood in Florida, which is almost in Orlando. So the original we covered this before. The original monkeys were released for the movie Tarzan in Silver Springs in like the 1930s.
Hmm.
They put them on an island in a river, thinking, "Oh, the monkeys won't leave the island." Within like 4 minutes, the monkeys just jumped off the island and swam to shore.
Sure.
And then they're like, well, "I guess we have monkeys now." Um, but this neighborhood is like it's in the outskirts of Orlando, um, and they had a monkey running through the neighborhood. The HOA sent out a big letter: "If you see this monkey, don't approach it. It's wild. It's no one's pet," which is just so wild and creepy to me because I don't. I like the not great apes from a distance.
Hmm.
Like just regular monkeys are fine. The great apes creep me out. They're too human for me and they're way too smart because I know that if they wanted to, they could absolutely smoke me and take over the world. So I stay away from those guys. Um, but then I got into it. I didn't. I always thought there was one species of monkey that was like a self-sustaining population in Florida. There's actually three. So there's five introduced,
Hmm.
and three species right now actually have reproducing populations, which are. Let's play a game. How well do you know your monkeys?
Not great.
I think I would have got one of these, and that's it. Um, the established ones are the rhesus macaques, squirrel monkeys, and vervet monkeys. Um, all of which pretty small, probably like the size of a raccoon.
Yeah.
They did introduce spider monkeys, which are the real gangly ones,
Yeah.
the ones that you always like the classic swinging from the tail with the limbs that are like twice the length of their body or whatever.
Hmm.
Those ones are absolutely terrifying. I can't imagine walking through a Floridian woods at night and seeing that. That'd kill me.
Yeah. That would be that would be crazy. The spider monkey, your favorite style of monkey. Um,
Not even the name.
not even the name.
No, just the shape of them. The shape of them is just terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they do remind me of
But
spiders,
one of the
but
greatest Will Ferrell quotes from a movie.
I come at you like a spider
Yeah.
monkey. Dude,
Um,
that would be my worst nightmare.
all right. So you had your fact with the monkeys. Where do you
Yep.
think I went with my fact?
I think you went with the state of Florida.
That would have been a good one. But I went with an ingredient that seems like we couldn't get a lot more information out of because it seems like a common used ingredient from time to time. I went with agave. I
Okay.
mean, the first ingredient on this is agave nectar. And so, did you know that Aztec warriors used the agave plant to extract sap? And what they did, it said the Aztec tribe would use the agave plant to extract sap um, to make it's called aguamiel or honey water. They then fermented this substance into pulque, which typically was an alcoholic drink. Both warriors and the general population loved this beverage long before the Spanish conquest. Native people used poles from sharp edges to cut down agave leaves. They then scaped out the sap and mixed it in with various other juices to make the aguamiel.
Hmm.
So yeah, Aztec
And
warriors just
so
getting
what was
getting
it?
drunk.
So it was an actual alcoholic
Yeah,
beverage?
because they would ferment it. So I mean,
Isn't it just called tequila?
well, because mead is just like honey. Like that's what mead is based in honey. So it's like just fermented, yeah, honey water, fermented sweet water.
Isn't what's agave tequila? How is it different than tequila?
I mean, I think tequila. I think this is more beer esque, like a fermented.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think tequila or the hard liquors are fermented. but I'm saying that out of no knowledge of that whatsoever.
Dude, I am the worst. If you try to have a conversation
Potatoes,
with me about
vodka. I know
alcohol,
that one. The potatoes and vodka.
if you try to have a conversation with me about alcohol, I'm like, I know what like Coors is sometimes, but other than that, I can't tell you anything about it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just know that they would use it and get drunk off of it. So Aztec warriors having fun. Work hard, play hard. That's the Aztec motto. Probably. It's hard to say.
I think they went too hard
Yeah. Yeah. The
or not hard enough. You
yes,
know, who knows?
Spanish conquest didn't really help with that. Um, but yeah, so there's my fact. Um, for the sauce here, though, that heat, so it doesn't have the same Reaper build when it's like a straight up just Reaper sauce, where like if it's Reaper
Hmm.
pepper or like a Reaper mash, you get that escalating bump. It hits and it holds and it builds quite a bit. I mean, it is hot, but I think I agree with you. It's like more of a 3 out of 5, like a high three. Um,
Hmm.
I had a couple spoonfuls of it, and I think that I managed pretty well. But you also part of it is it has that counter of the sweetness. You have a few different peppers working in there with the poblanos, with the jalapeno, um, and then the Reaper powder. And I don't think they needed a whole lot of Reaper powder to get a good burn because this, I mean, this would be their hottest sauce that they carry because they don't do a lot of hot sauces. Um,
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
their
probably for sure their
pineapple
hottest sauce,
pineapple
right?
ghost is probably their only other up there that I would think of because
Yeah.
the Dano garlic I don't think is that hot. Agave jalapeno obviously, their mango honey mango habanero I don't think has that same heat level. So it is very good, and I like incrementally seeing them push that heat. I've seen that with a few brands of hot sauces that we follow, where they've been coming out with that like that next step up in the heat. So
Hmm.
um,
Right. No, they from going from pretty mild to medium, and then to really going up to, and this is a pretty hot sauce for sure. You know, they did a good job of keeping their style
yeah.
and incorporating that heat that can be like way overpowering sometimes. You know, and really ruin the flavor of a sauce.
So with this sauce, do you have your score calculated?
I do.
So this sauce I had as an 83.
I had 85.
Yeah, and your dad probably had it in the an 80. Well, in the initial flavor, he had that low score, and then the
Yeah, the only points he had negative against this was the initial flavor, but after that, loved it.
yeah
So
yeah. We should start doing that. Be like, hey, we don't give him a chart, but just say out of 100, what would you give this? If somebody tries a sauce in our house,
he's like, what are you doing with these scores? You always asking me for scores.
I so one of Angela's coworkers, she follows the podcast. I actually sent her some bottles of sauce that I had that were extras of certain ones. Um, and I was texting her while she was at work, and I was like, "It's just been a real rough day, real stressful. This, that. I got a lot of stuff to do." And she was like, "My coworker that listens to your podcast says just eat more hot sauce." I'm like, "That is the answer. That is." I said, "I got a couple more coming in the mail." I said, "I didn't buy them. They're just being sent." But
Right.
but yeah, that was the funny one. I'm like, I like where their heads at on that. That's the good motto. But Stanky Sauce again, stankysauce.com. Eddie and Eric Stankowitz, the brothers out of Florida, Orlando, Florida. They have a great lineup. Their honey mango habanero, the agave jalapeno, their barbecue sauce, their Florida Sunshine barbecue sauce is still probably the best
Yeah.
barbecue sauce I've seen from any of the hot sauce makers. Now we haven't tried,
Still one of my favorite barbecue
yeah,
sauces.
we haven't tried
They killed it
all
with
of them,
that
but
one.
that one was, it's just that's the nice orange juice component in there
Hmm.
that gives a nice flair. I told my cousin who loves their stanky sauce lineup. I told him about that, and he was like, "Ah, "I'm gonna have to get more." I'm like, "Yeah, like the barbecue
Yeah,
sauce."
that was like one of the best caramelizing barbecue sauces I've ever used.
Yeah,
Just turned into a nice sticky, flavorful. Oh, it's so good.
yeah. So they're if they're gonna be at the Illinois show, that'd be my time to stock up on that barbecue sauce, if not sooner. Um, but let's get into Black Eyed Susan Spice Co. Now, Black Eyed Susan Spice Co. Their Instagram is Black Eyed Spices. Their website, yeah, blackeyedspices.com. So now this one is a has quite a few awards. I'm going to run through the awards on this one first. Um, this one has won the 2021 International Flavor Awards. I'm sorry, it was second place in the 2021 International Flavor Awards for the hot sauces hot category. First place in the 2022 International Flavor Awards for Caribbean hot sauces. Uh, Scovie Award winner in 2023 for the World Beat Triple X Hot. 2023 Screamin' Mimi Award for Fruit Based Hot. They won third place there. 2023 International Flavor Awards, third place for Caribbean Hot Sauce. So multiple awards, perennially winning awards. Let me read the description on the bottle here. While developing hot sauces, we immerse ourselves in Caribbean cooking techniques and flavor directions. During our journey, we learned about the wonderful blend of cultures, ethnicities, and foods in Trinidad and Tobago. Rarely do so many people from across the globe coexist and blend their cuisines quite like this. We wanted to use the native yellow 7-pot pepper to make a sauce that showcases these diverse flavors and can transport you to every kitchen on the islands. Let's see here. Ingredients: pineapple juice, rice vinegar, bananas, yellow 7-pot pepper mash, lemon juice, yellow onion, garlic, kosher salt, thyme, and spices. So that 7-pot pepper mash is the heavy hitter of the peppers. Produced in Virginia. This sauce is produced in Virginia. So again, this is not a sauce that we've done a deep dive into, but we will do a deep dive into this brand in a future episode. But this was voted on, so we wanted to give this one a try. We do have their what was it? Was it the like their chocolate
Their,
seasoning? What was that
their
seasoning?
seasoning, yeah. They took, they had another, I talked to him about this one. They had like another award winning sauce,
Hmm.
and it was so successful for them that they made it actually into like a dry rub.
Right.
And that is, I still use it. I actually have it. You don't need a lot of it because it is pretty potent.
Yeah.
But it goes really well on squash,
Hmm.
like roasted squash.
Okay.
It is phenomenal, phenomenal on that, and pepper potatoes too.
Nice.
Oh man, this smells so good. You know, this smells like it would go good on,
What's that?
and it's because of the time, like a rack of lamb.
Okay, I could see that.
Like if you did like smoked lamb or something like that.
Yeah, I get the thyme, I get the pineapple.
I get a lot of time. I love time.
This is a
Have you
deceptive
had the
one. It
new?
doesn't smell as hot as it could be.
Are you familiar with kind bars?
Nope.
You don't know what kind bars are?
W-
It's like the whole granola bars. They're like the granola bars with, but they're not ground up.
No.
Oh my gosh,
I may,
that's got to
maybe it's
be a
something I've
photo left on
seen. If
there.
I've seen it, then maybe.
Yeah,
But
yeah, I'm sure you have. But they're like whole ingredient granola bars, and they're barely stuck together with I don't know some sort of some binder. But
mm,
they have a new rosemary one out. They have like a savory line.
yeah,
In the rosemary one, you might like if you closed your eyes and just got the took a bite of it, you'd think you just ate like a rosemary sprig, like the whole thing. It's that
oh
powerful.
wow,
I had one on Sunday morning.
hmm,
I belched Sunday night, and it was just like getting kicked in the face with rosemary. It was good. I like it because I like rosemary, but it was like just eating a whole sprig of rosemary was crazy.
that is pretty crazy. Um, yeah, I want to try this one. This was interesting. That thyme and the pineapple is not a flavor combination that I'm used to in my day to day cooking. So,
I'm trying to think if we've had any other sauces that have really had a major time component to them.
I mean, some of Lucky Dog sauces take a lot of time to produce.
Sorry, thyme.
Yeah, thyme. Got to really enunciate the whole thing. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't. Um, Not off the top of my head.
I'm sure I'm sure it's been used, but I
Yeah,
don't know if it's been like a main.
I love thyme. So
I don't know if it's been a title ingredient.
yeah, but let's give this one.
All
Let's
right.
give this one a try. That banana sweetness is in there. The pineapple and banana go well together because my grandma used to always get the orange pineapple banana juice, the
Oh
Doles.
yeah.
I would I would always be like, this is fancy because we would just get like Sunny Delight.
We'd always get the orange pineapple tang.
Nice, but
Like my parents would get the regular tang. My grandma would treat us with the orange pineapple tang. Dude, we felt rich when we saw that.
this has a good the time
Oh,
aftertaste
that's
is
really
there.
good sauce.
Not as,
It's another tortilla chip sauce.
not as
I
hot
could
as
just eat
I
this on chips, be happy with it.
not as hot as I was expecting, and so you were right.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't as hot when we tried it.
hmm For me, this like I know it's got that pineapple in there. It's I don't want to call it a sweet sauce, but it's definitely on the has those sweeter elements to it.
So
Uh,
the stanky sauce
I would
one,
like to love this as like a steak sauce.
okay, I can see that. The stanky sauce one punches more with that sweetness up front. It's a more
hmm
direct sweetness. This is sweet, but it's kind of like as you try it, it's like, oh yeah, like it is relatively sweet, but it's
Yeah.
not over the top. And that's I think banana is one of those ingredients that like it's sweet, but it's not as obvious with it. And they've got
hmm
a lot of other savory ingredients in here that can balance that. I would put this. I would do like pork chops, any type of
Yeah,
pork
pork
dish.
chops.
Um, I think root vegetables. Do like if you did like a root vegetable medley or something. Want to throw this on there?
Right.
Anything. I mean, anything you could do with thyme. Um,
Turkey, like a roasted chicken or roasted turkey.
yeah, it is. And that heat is hitting me in the back of the throat pretty good though.
It's funny you said that because like the back, not the back of my throat, but the back of my tongue right now. I feel like that's where most of the sauce landed because that's burning pretty good right now.
Well, I do the dumb thing of rolling it over my tongue, just like back and forth.
The ice cream guy.
Yeah. Oh,
You got to
I,
cover all 9,000 taste buds.
did I tell you I showed that to my oldest daughter? Where I was like, oh, you gotta check this out. I showed her that video because she was talking about maybe it was her stepbrother like eats and like smacks his lips or something. I'm like, here, look at this video,
You want to see
and
some lip smack and check this guy out.
she's like, that is disgusting, and I'm like, not so bad now, huh? So see, I was
Could
helping.
be worse, kiddo.
See, I was helping.
Especially when they put the mouth over the eyes.
The guy was dedicated. The guy was dedicated to his craft.
He's a very successful ice cream man. Like he's got like a gold plated spoon or like a solid gold spoon that he uses.
We need to get some Heat Source brand spoons that we just bring to hot sauce shows, but it'd have to be like the mother of pearl though, so they don't get
hmm
contaminated. Or the Brian Ames does wooden spoons. That's pretty cool.
Oh, we need to develop a tortilla chip that's like tasting spoon shaped.
God, the process to produce that would be a pain.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how you'd keep them without breaking them.
You'd have to make more like Pringles, where it's just a bunch of mashed up chip that you just mold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't call it a chip at that point.
What is it called?
Like with Pringles, they're called potato crisps. They're legally not allowed to call them chips.
Cool.
I think it has to do with like once you blend it up, once you I think lose the structural integrity of the potato, you can't call it a chip anymore.
Okay.
Well, no, that doesn't count for tortilla chips. But I do know that they cannot call Pringles chips. They have to call them crisps.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Link on Good Mythical Morning went on a rant about Pringles about how they're bastardized chips. So
They're
um,
so good though.
they're good. Yeah, and they have so many different flavors. I haven't tried all the flavors. There's somewhere I draw the line, but
There's a lot of new ones out there.
one of them where I was like, this can't be that good. It was honey mustard, and it was actually really good. I'm like,
hmm
dang it, like they got me. And so I was like, for like a solid like couple months, anytime I got a Pringle, I'm like, give me that honey mustard one.
That's funny.
My kids do the cheesy ones, simple, classic.
Last Pringles I had were I think they were the Ghost. They have like a Ghost one out there.
Okay,
They were surprisingly hot. I gave some to my nephew. He's 6. He wanted some. He loves hot food, and I could hear him in the back seat. He was in his car seat, and you know, like how when things are hot, you kind of breathe through your teeth. You do like the.
yeah,
I hear him back there. He's drooling doing that, and I look back, and his face is just super red. And I'm like, "Dude, are you okay?" He's like, "Can I have another?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, you can, man. Here you go. Here's the can. Knock yourself out."
he's a trooper. The what is what would be your favorite Pringle flavor?
Favorite Pringle flavor?
Yeah.
Probably those pizza ones.
Okay.
The pizza flavor. Oh, those are good. Those are more nostalgic though. Like as an adult, I wouldn't call them good, but those are just kind of like my I want to feel bad and dirty about myself. So go for those ones.
That sounds wrong. That, that would
Yes.
be funny.
I've a lot of like like guilty pleasure foods.
It would be funny if Courtney's like, "I'm going to the store. You want me to grab anything? I'm feeling a little bad and dirty. Give me some Pringles."
Yeah.
It's like did not
Feeling frisky tonight. Pick up some pizza
like
Pringles.
not sure how many guesses it would take for her to guess Pringles was what you had on your mind.
It's like Phil. Like I respect my wife too much to do to her what I'm gonna do to you.
Oh man. I think what was my favorite Pringle flavor? I really like the salt and vinegar ones.
Those are good.
Those are good.
It's hard. There's not a Pringle flavor I don't like. I'll put it that way.
So you had mentioned though that like there's some like food where it's just kind of like yeah this is just doing I'm eating food that I know I would be judged if it was like someone saw like this is what you're eating at 10 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
I've had certain things that I've made where I'm just like I know this is blasphemous but I'm just eating it anyway. Where
Yeah.
there would be restrictions on our YouTube channel of like you cannot listen to what these people say about tasting anything because he's just like
Hmm.
and most of it is I have leftovers in the fridge. I hate throwing away leftovers. I'm gonna use them in some way to utilize the most I can.
Right.
And yeah, that's it's always funny. That I don't know if I mentioned it on the podcast. I think I mentioned it before, where there was one time I was making a sandwich and I just wanted to put a smear of mayonnaise on the sandwich and then like walk out the door, and we were out of mayo completely. And I was like, I don't. This isn't a ketchup sandwich. This isn't a mustard sandwich. This needs mayo. But we did
Just
have,
do ranch
but
on
we
there.
did have that would have been good. But we did have mayo based macaroni salad. So I just put a layer of macaroni salad
Oh
on there
no, that's
and
so
walked out the door.
gross.
It was it's like it's kind of like you have put like egg salad on something. There's mayo in that, you know, or a
Yeah.
ham salad.
Sure.
Yeah, it would. But
Yeah.
I told people more
I
because I'm
don't like
like
it.
this is the shame I need to share. And one of my buddies, it was funny because one of his responses were, "It takes like three ingredients to whip up mayonnaise." I'm like, I'm walking out the door. I'm not going to be whipping up some olive oil and some egg yolks like to make
Yeah.
some fresh mayo. Like that's
Right.
not on my
So
docket here.
funny.
But yeah, so that's probably if I'll have to start something on Instagram where it's like any foods, and if you want to contribute, you can too. But any foods of like, hey, these are just blasphemous meals that I'm having, and then it's just like I combine these things. I combined Italian, Mexican, and these random chips that are in a bag, and this is the thing I'm eating right now. And they're like,
Yeah. For me, not it's not a blasphemous meal in itself. What's blasphemous about it is the time of day that I will consume this, which is all time.
okay,
Hormel chili and cream cheese. So 1 can of Hormel chili, beanless,
okay,
a whole brick of cream cheese, throw it in the microwave, heat it up, tortilla chips. I cannot tell you how many times I've had a full can of Hormel chili and cream cheese for
it's
breakfast.
funny because I'm like, my initial reaction is like, oh man, that's gross, and I'm like, I bet that would slap. Like, I bet that would actually
It
be.
is so good.
You've seen?
It is so good. I would literally, if I had that for breakfast the rest of my life, I'd be okay with it.
Have you seen the videos when the guy's like, hey, I'm gonna watch this video until they throw cream cheese in the recipe, and then like 3 seconds in, he's like, all right, see you guys next week. It's like everything's just a brick of cream cheese in the crock pot. No, I can see how that would be good. Um, there was
It's a
a podcast I listened to that they did like uh, gross food combinations, and it was like these are food combinations that they did in their everyday life growing up or now, and there was some things not quite that, but like similar where it's like a lot of canned products that they threw together. It was like, hey, this is the thing I made like when I was home from school by myself because my parents didn't have a sitter. It's just like throwing a bunch of canned goods into a mix and just there you go. Um,
mhm.
but no, I bet that would be good.
Oh, it's good. It's a great party dip, but like I said, it's more the time of day, which is any time of day that I'll eat it. I've gotten out of bed. I've fallen asleep at 8, 9 o'clock.
Hmm.
I've gotten out of bed at like 1 in the morning to make it.
It is weird if you're getting out of bed specifically to make it. Um,
Yep.
I
Do it all the time.
my parents made kibas and sauerkraut for Easter last week, and I wasn't at Easter there. I was at Angela's family's, and so they made me some leftover that I had in the free. They gave me some frozen packs of it, and so I put one in the fridge to let it thaw, and then I checked it one morning. I was like, oh, let me see if it's thawed because I'll have it for lunch or dinner today, and accidentally ate the whole thing right there at breakfast.
Just slipped.
Yeah, I like let me like,
Accidentally.
oh, it looks like
That's
it's
funny.
pretty thawed out. Let me see. Let me try one piece. I'm like, oh, it's so good. And then suddenly I just
Yeah.
woke up and I'm like, oh no, not again.
Yeah.
Um,
I did that with ham this year. My mom got a big honey baked ham,
mhm,
a big spiral cut. And I mean, Sophia was absolutely smashing it. That was by far her favorite part of Easter meal.
yeah,
And I gave her a couple pieces. I accidentally ate the remaining ham leg.
yeah, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Um, for what do you think I did for my fact?
I think you went with, I'm going to go with bombs.
No, that'd be a good one. But I just did like the movie bomb thing like last episode, so I wanted to like get away from doing bombs in some way. I went with something an ingredient in this sauce that's probably well liked by our other sauces logo.
Our other sauces logo.
Bananas.
Bananas. Oh, just before you
Right?
said that, I was like, wait, monkeys, bananas?
It's
Okay.
all connected in the Charlie Day
Yeah,
red
I way
string.
overthought that one.
Um, so bananas are rich in potassium, potassium 40. But did you know that bananas are also technically radioactive because potassium 40 is a radioactive isotope of potassium? They said it's not to be scared. You don't, but not to be scared of it, but aware that in numerous debates taking place over the world, there's a discussion about this, and they've concluded positively by saying the radioactivity in bananas is negligible and that cannot even compete with the radioactivity present in our bodies, uh, our average body anyway. Also, 75% water. So, two
So
facts.
I don't know. You didn't make me feel any better about telling me that bananas are radioactive because think about how many times in your lifetime since the day Matthew was born, how many times you heard glyphosate safe, glyphosate safe. Like to the point where like the people who made glyphosate were like, "Oh yeah, you can drink the stuff, you'll be totally fine." And then last year it comes out like, "Oh my gosh, we're all shocked. Glyphosate gives cancer." Like this is a
Um,
provable scientific thing.
what's the thing that's
We're
glyphosate?
like,
What is glyphosate again?
"Oh, it's like Roundup, just weed killer."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's what is unanimously across the board used. Like a GMO crop that's like Roundup. You've heard of like Roundup Ready plants or Roundup Ready.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've got
You know,
Roundup.
that's glyphosate resistant. Um, yeah. So when you tell me like someone's like, "Oh yeah, bananas are safe," this is a little bit of radioactivity, but not a lot. I'm like,
Yeah, but at least with this, so like with glyphosate, it's like this is something they're manually spraying onto a plant. Bananas are just growing. Like, yes,
well, here's the thing. I doubt the bananas today were the bananas of yesterday.
fair.
You know, I don't know. I'm not a banana expert. I know that will probably catch you by surprise,
I thought you went
but
to
I
banana
couldn't tell
college.
you banana
you
college,
went to
dude. I
you went
do
to
enjoy
Chiquita University.
my Instagram feed lately has been the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, they're so much fun to watch. I love baseball. I'm a diehard baseball fan. A lot of people hate the Savannah Bananas because they think it is just a mockery of the sport.
okay.
But having played baseball and knowing how difficult baseball is, and for them to actually be good at it while doing circus stunts is
It's
friggin' mind
it's
blowing.
the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They actually have a league now, so they have 6 teams now, and they actually have a traveling league. They have sold out every single stadium already that they are scheduled to be in.
that's impressive.
Yeah, they turned that organization around. It went from the Savannah Bananas, which was like just kind of a joke.
Hmm.
Like no one, everyone. It was one of those scenarios where like everyone said this will never be successful. Some guy in a yellow suit shows up and looks like Curious George's dad. I guess another monkey
Yeah, the
reference,
man in the big yellow
and
hat.
turns it around, and all of a sudden it's a 6 team league that's sold out for every event that they have planned.
But we can't get the XFL to get off the ground. Disgraceful.
Dude, I love football too. I have no interest in watching it. I don't
What?
know why.
So, so for favorite sport playing versus favorite sport watching, is it both baseball?
Mm, playing, playing, yes. I would
Mm,
say I like playing baseball more. Watching, it's hard. It kind of depends on the game.
okay.
Like a bad, uh, I don't know. It's a tie. It'd be a tie.
Between baseball and football?
But yeah, baseball and football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me at work, they were like, what's Mike's favorite sport? And my guess was, said playing, probably baseball, because it's the only sport I've heard him consistently talk about having played and play still. And I said probably football for watching, like, but it's in the mix. So I was right.
Yeah. I
Proud of myself.
yeah. I would say if you had to make me pick one, I'd probably say I'd rather watch football over baseball,
Hmm.
but I'd rather play baseball over play football.
I think also, so um, if in each situation, if it is your favorite team, so like if you're like a Detroit fan for all sports, which one would, if they're like, hey, the Tigers are on or the Lions are on, which one are you watching in a regular season game if they're playing at the same time?
I'm probably going the Lions because they just football inherently has less games.
Sure.
You know, like I can catch 18 Tigers games in 2 weeks, or I could catch 18 Lions games in what 4 months.
Yeah. No, that's
You know,
fair.
so
Limited
yeah,
quantity.
if they ever overlapped, I'm probably going Lions unless it's like some crazy playoff run that the Tigers are having in the fall. So
Okay. What do you think my sport viewing would be?
you're gonna go your sport viewing.
Hmm.
I think you're going basketball all day. I never heard you air punch during football, and you just told me that your family was in jeopardy during basketball season.
So I would agree. I think so. I think the Lions, because of their like this influx of them being good, kind of skews it. Like if you go recency bias, it's like, oh, Matt, you've watched a lot more Lions games than Pistons games. But when both of them are good, the Pistons have my attention first, the Lions have my attention second, Tigers third, Red Wings fourth. So yeah,
I would have thought hockey would have been above baseball for you. That's surprising.
I I think hockey is. Do I think that? No, I don't know. I was gonna say
I don't know
I
what I
think
think.
hockey is more entertaining than baseball, like in a vacuum. But I don't know. And I guess playoff hockey is more exciting to me than playoff baseball. I would say
Yeah,
that. But I do. There's something therapeutic about like having a baseball game on and it can just be playing, and you don't have to like be watching it like closely every second because
dude, there's something about the announcers. It's the way baseball is
yeah,
announced. I think because they do a good job. I like baseball was made for radio, honestly. Um, they just do a good job of painting
yeah,
a detailed picture in your head.
yeah. I would say
You know,
that's a good
it's hard to explain.
yeah. I mean, that's what baseball started on radio, so that makes sense. But anyway, sports tangent again. This time, yeah, different sport tangent. Um, what was your fact for
I did
Trinidad Time
so. It
Bomb?
is horse racing season, so I went with
Okay,
Black Eyed Susans,
is that a
and I tied
horse?
it into horse racing.
Is that a horse?
No, so the can you name the? Do you know the Triple Crown races?
I know what it means to win the Triple Crown, but I don't know the races. Is Kentucky Derby one of
Is
them?
the Yep, Kentucky Derby, Belmont, and the Preakness. In the Preakness,
Hmm.
when whoever wins the Preakness gets a drape of what looks like Black Eyed Susans,
Okay.
right? So it's like they weave these flowers into this big blanket. Looks like the horse is draped in Black Eyed Susans.
Hmm.
The Preakness has also been dubbed the Run for the Black Eyed Susans because the blanket of they're called Viking palms, a variety of chrysanthemum resembling black-eyed Susans, is traditionally placed around the winning horse's neck. which I found that funny, where they call it the race for the Black Eyed Susan, but they don't even use Black Eyed Susans for it.
That is weird.
They use chrysanthemums.
Hmm. Okay.
Yep, that's my fact. Is that people don't know their flowers.
They never do. Um, no, I like that fact. Horse racing, not something we get into often on the podcast. So, um,
I'm a closet horse racing guy. Like I'm not. I don't sit there in the off season and say, "Man, I wish, I wish horse racing was on." I don't really follow it. I really enjoy the movie Secretariat, but like when it's on,
yeah,
I'm a horse guy when it's on TV or when it's horse racing season.
I saw the movie
But
Seabiscuit. Wasn't that entertaining for me?
I saw Seabiscuit one time.
It's long.
Didn't.
It's a long movie.
It is a long movie. Secretariat. That's where it's at though. That's a cool. That's a cool
Also
story.
threw me off because Spider Man was a jockey. For Seabiscuit.
He uses powers for
I'm like, why is he taking his horse?
rigging some of the
Just
events.
swing out
I
there.
can't see out there.
Um, but yeah. But anyway, getting back to Black Eyed Susan Spice Go, Trinidad Time Bomb. Um, I really like this sauce. I think the pineapple and that banana gives it, like, I think you mentioned it, just a nice sweetness, but it's not over the top sweet. It's kind of a mellow sweetness to it. The thyme is very strong. It did build that heat built as I was like having a couple more spoonfuls. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think it's quite there where you're going to be like sweating and snotting or anything like that. So I still would put this as like I don't know, like a low three. I think this is a low three to a high three from
I had
Stanky.
a 2 plus 3 minus
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
I think that's fair. Um, for my score on this one, I had this one as an 81.
I had 84.
Okay, we're a couple spots off on both of these sauces, but we both like them.
Yeah.
Obviously, anything above 75 we would have in our house year round. Above 50 we'd recommend to buy. So both of these are really really good sauces. I am curious to see now that it's like grilling season, like it's nice enough out where I can get the grill out. The time bomb one is going to be real handy for that, but this sweet jalapeno reaper, that's going to go on a lot of the Mexican cuisine in my tacos. And I'd like to change up and do a little bit more variety than my standard tacos, and that'd be a good.
Yeah.
I,
I'm gonna hang on to this time bomb one. It's almost farmers market season. Our local farmers market has a really good lamb stand, so I
mhm.
think I'm gonna get some lamb chops and do something with this one.
I was going to say that if you do any type of fish tacos, we really should do like a fish taco video, like Mike's fish taco recipe, and just do
I'm
a
gonna do
video. It
a
was like,
wet
here's how he
burrito
does them.
video, fish taco video.
Yeah, wet burrito one. The wet burrito, I made that wet burrito sauce for my tacos recently. It didn't turn out as well as I thought for that purpose, but it did turn out good where I cut it with a little bit of like mayo or sour cream and it became like a not a chipotle sauce, but kind of like that spicy uh spicy sauce you
Like an
get at like
adobo
yeah,
sauce
like
or
you would get
something.
at Taco Bell because there was no chipotle in it.
Yeah.
Um, but it turned out really good. Just
Nice.
not quite where the wet burrito sauce would need to be. Um, but Black Eyed Spices again, their website, Black Eyed Spices, Instagram, social media, everything is under that title there. Um, special thank you to Harold at flamerlame.pro. That shout out is because he is one of our Patreon members that's in the tier that gets a special shout out at the end of every episode. Special thank you to Scoville.com for sponsoring this episode. They are sponsoring a batch of episodes, so you'll see another ad read on the next one as well. But appreciate them. Go to Scoville.com and use the code the heat source to get 50% off that first month subscription box on their monthly subscription service. And thank you again for listening. However, you listen, we do appreciate the support for the podcast. And if you want to gain any additional perks, please consider our Patreon. Whether you join or not, we do appreciate you. If you'd like to sponsor an episode, send us a message at theheatsourcepod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at the Heat Source Podcast for all updates. And tune again next week when we continue trying sauces. And it's something it's a new brand because I remember now what I dropped off to you. And
Yep.
uh, I need to get more bottles to give you more sauce.
I have a whole box of mini ball jars, and I have your Christmas present. So you will be receiving your Christmas present probably in May.
I mean, technically,
At this point, we might as well just count this for 2025 too.
technically
So this
this
is your
is
2024,
yeah.
2025.
Technically, it's already May as of right now. But yeah. So We'll get more sauces to you, and then yeah, we've got plenty of sauces to get into. So we'll see you all next week.
See ya.
That Mason told me
I thought this was going to turn into a dad joke,
no.
but it's too much of a dad story to be a dad joke.
I will tell you, Mason told me a good joke yesterday. Was it yesterday? Um, why don't skeletons dance?
Why?
Because you need somebody.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm like, I like that. Well, that's a good one. He was pretty proud of it.